Not too long ago, I put a tweet asking you guys to reply with a movie, and the reply with the most likes, I would 100% make a video on. I got over 800 replies on that tweet. A lot of people replied with insane movies like Blubberella, G-Force, The Amazing Bulk.
Look out! It was an accident.
Freddy Got Fingered, Corona Zombies, and amongst all these replies, one of them reigned supreme. Just played the theme song.
They call him balls. Balls.
Yes, thank you once again, Derek Blackman, or some black guy on YouTube, for replying with this movie, Boss N-Word. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm making a second video on a movie with the N-word in the title. Boss N-Word, also known as Boss and the Black Bounty Hunter, is a 1975 blaxploitation Western film directed by Jack Arnold. For those unaware, blaxploitation is an ethnic subgenre that emerged in the United States during the early 1970s. The films, while popular, suffered backlash for disproportionate numbers of stereotypical film characters.
Very interesting.
Showing bad or questionable motives. However, the genre does rank among the first in which black characters are the heroes rather than sidekicks, villains, or victims. Boss N-Word stars former football player Fred Williamson, who both wrote and co-produced the film. Fred Williamson was in a bunch of blaxploitation movies of the time, such as Black Caesar, Hammer, The Man Bolt, and 3 the Hard Way. I guess you could call Boss N-Word the first Django Unchained. It shares a lot of similar themes. They're both westerns. They both depict a black cowboy rising up against the racists of the time. The theme song of this movie is sick.
They call him balls. Balls.
I love it, but I can't sing it. They call him balls. Boss. You can cut a motherfucker with how sharp this groove is. The movie follows this badass black cowboy named Boss and his sidekick Amos.
Well, you all been hunting black folks for so long, we just want to see what it felt like to hunt white folks.
They're two bounty hunters that find themselves as the sheriff and deputy of this small town. These two guys are like the stereotypical like heroes, you know. There's a scene where these dumbasses are harassing a woman. Amos tells them to leave her alone, so they make racist remarks towards Amos. He pulls out his gun and he fires at their feet, and he forces them to apologize to the woman.
We're terribly sorry we troubled you, ma'am.
Boss comes up to Amos and he's like, yo, we don't have time for this. We have a bounty to collect. But then Amos is like, hey, I like fat women.
I just didn't like their looks. Besides, I love fat women.
That's his thing. He likes the BBWs, you know. And I like how this woman isn't even fat. She's like slightly chubby. A lot of this movie can be boiled down to a bunch of white racist dickheads making racist remarks towards Boss and Amos and then getting their comeuppance. There's a scene where this asshole calls Boss over to shine his boots.
Hey, come here and shine my boots.
Boss plays along. He's being all silly.
Thank you, sir. I've been shining white folks' boots in their life.
Yeah, shine them good. He ain't never seen no polish yet.
Until catching them off guard, pulling his repeater out and blasting a hole through this guy's foot. Boss and Amos put this fool in jail. His friend then helps him escape later on. But before he can get on his horse, Amos puts a hole through his other foot, and they lock him up again. There's a hilarious scene of Boss and Amos sitting down at a restaurant. The waiter walks over all confused, because it's like a white-only restaurant, I guess. Boss rolls his eyes, he's like, God damn it, I know that I'm black, he knows that we're black, you know that we're black, everyone knows that we're black, we need to eat too. Just feed us or I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking head.
He knows he's an I knows I's a so you don't have to tell us we is. But not even got to eat. So go get me some food before I blow your damn head off.
And the waiter's like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. N-word. Mr.
Yes, sir, Mr. Yes, sir.
Later in the movie, Boss and Amos convince the begrudging mayor and town council that they should be anointed the new sheriff and deputy. There's literally no white people in the town that are capable enough to replace these guys, so they walk in on them and they're like, hey, we're doing it, sorry. And they point their guns at them and they're like, do you have a problem with this? And they're like, not anymore. There's something extremely satisfying about watching two black guys carve out a little power of their own in the late 1800s in a little town full of mostly racist white folk. There's a scene where Boss leads a bunch of downtrodden indigenous people into town, and he gives them food from the market for free that they couldn't otherwise afford. The shopkeep is obviously really upset by this, so he calls them the N-word. Amos then charges him $20 for saying the N-word in public, because that's one of the new rules that they made up in the town, that you can't say the N-word in public or you get charged. And $20 back then was roughly like $620 today, so Ouch. And then there's a scene where Amos says, "Good day, sir," to a passing white guy and his wife. They don't respond, so he repeats himself. And the guy just keeps walking, so Amos arrests him. This movie's so good. So it turns out that the mayor is a huge piece of shit. Who could have thought? He hires a wanted man, Jed, and a bunch of his outlaw buddies to take care of Amos and Boss, because he doesn't like that these two black guys have power in this town. So Jed and his men try and fail to abduct Boss, but they do abduct a woman that Boss and Amos saved in the beginning of the movie. They also trample an indigenous kid that Boss helped feed earlier, so Boss is all angry, right? So he rides out to meet them, and then they capture him. Amos finds his way to the outlaws' encampment at night and saves Boss and the woman. Boss is injured, so they bring him to a doctor's place. The next day, Jed and his goons infiltrate the town. It's time for that scene that happens in every single Western.
It's time.
The shootout. And then the tumbleweeds come out of nowhere. It's shootout time, guys. There was a firefight! Before Jed and his goons arrived, Amos and Boss planted explosives all over the town. So when they started having their gunfight, there's explosions everywhere, and there's guns being shot everywhere. Boss eventually finds his way into the tavern with Jed. Jed is out of ammunition, so they both lower their gun belts. Boss wants to have an honorable fight with this guy for some reason, even though he's a complete piece of shit. Like, I would just shoot him right here, but you know what they always do in these movies, they don't want to kill someone who isn't armed. It's got to be a fair fight, you know. But obviously, Jed being a dirtbag, he jumps for a gun, and they wrestle for it until Jed shoots at Boss. Boss gets behind cover, he gets his gun, and he shoots back at Jed, and he hits him twice. When Jed gets shot, the sound effect in the background is so funny. It sounds like an old man having a stroke. Then Jed says, "Go ahead and kill me, N-word." Boss says, "That's Mr. N-word to you."
Go ahead and kill me. Mr. to you.
Aw, shit! And then Boss kills him. Upon leaving the tavern, Boss is shot. But shot by who? Who did this? It was none other than the bastard mayor. Boss throws a knife at the mayor, instantly killing him. Earlier in the movie, this white woman was showing interest in Boss, and she's like, "Oh, don't leave, you can stay at my place, it's all good." And then Boss goes, "The last thing I'm gonna do is start dating a white girl, damn."
But a black man's got enough problems without having a white woman follow him around.
You don't think I have enough trouble in life? Shit! Amos puts Boss into a horse-drawn carriage, and they ride off into the distance. I'm guessing to find somewhere to heal Boss and continue on their journey. That's the end of the movie. Yes! I did it! I managed to make a second review on an N-word movie without saying it once. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie. I think it aged pretty well.
Besides, I love fat women.
Follow me on Twitter if you'd like to recommend another movie for me to review. You can also comment recommendations in the comment section down below. And who knows, maybe I'll make a video on what you recommend. Don't forget to check out my clothing brand if you haven't already. It's called alienclothing.com. We recently released a bunch of new stuff over there that I think you might like. That will do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.